But that's just not simply the case. One pro rider, Wiley Peterson, put it, "You don't choose which bulls to ride, the bulls choose you." And this is one place I think cowboy wisdom doesn't always hold true in every account. Because I can tell you, as a man with numerous flaws, I have willfully chosen some of the bulls I've ridden in my life. And each one of them has bucked me off and trampled me into the dirt. And yet, because of the last 12 years of my salvation with Jesus Christ, it's there in the dirt of my defeats I'm comforted enough to get back up and try again. I wonder what possesses the spirit of a man to compel him to repeatedly attempt such absurdity. I suppose as men, we simply ride these metaphorical bulls of life just to prove that we are. But more often than not, these bulls prove us wrong. We've all witnessed firsthand people whose rides have gone bad. Even at the first signs of trouble, they just can't break free as their worst nightmare takes place and they get hung up in the ropes of life. If you followed recent national events, then you know the collective rush of air being pushed from a Christian nation's lungs as Ted's bull flung it around like a rag in the wind. We could do nothing but watch, hope, and pray as his limp body finally came to rest in the dirt after several moments of agony. I suppose it would be easy for any of us to project our judgments faultlessly onto a fallen nature of another rider. But the fact is, and just like in pro bull riding, in life everyone falls. Everyone falls. And we need not forget that. During this educational journey, I made a good friend and teacher in all things bull riding, Cody Custer. He's the founder of the PBR Outreach Ministry. Cody knows bull riding. He's a former world champion himself. Cody understands the dangerous effects of successfully riding bulls when he told me, "This is the most rugged, most ignorant, and dangerous sport on the face of the earth, Matt. But if you do it right, there's nothing better." He went on to tell me that the greatest danger happens when a rider gets his 8 seconds over on a notorious bull. He said, they think they've conquered it all and now nothing can stop them. You see, I believe right there in the chute, this is the attractive awe that fills the rider with an adrenaline rush that goes beyond anything that he's ever encountered. The rider desires to rush out and face the darkening horizon of his own uncertainty. And through all the crowd's cheers and his mama's prayers for his safety, he hears the sound of thunder. And he likes it. I believe this attractive awe is not born out of a sensory desire, but a spiritual desire. It's a spiritual desire of man to know that he danced through the valley in the shadow of death and came out the other side. But as mentioned before, we might ride to prove that we are. But more often than not, the bulls prove us wrong. And as far as bull riding goes, there's never been a perfect ride, a score of 100, that I'm aware of in the sport of professional bull riding. I feel pretty confident there never will be a perfect ride either. There are just too many variables, too many twists and turns. A lot of riders have gotten close in the history of the sport, but no man has ridden his bulls. But a long time ago, there was a cowboy. And his name was David. David said, "Herds of bulls come at me. The raging bulls stampede, horns lowered, nostrils flaring like a herd of buffalo on the move. I'm a bucket kicked over and spilled. Every joint in my body has been pulled apart. My heart is a blob of melted wax in my gut. And I'm dry as a bone, my tongue black and swollen. They've laid me out for burial in the dirt." You got to think about it. David was a cowboy. Wrestled a bear, wrestled a lion, tackled a giant. He knew. That looks like the heart of a bull rider right there. A man who knows. Some of his bulls were pretty bad too, weren't they? Murder. Killed one of his own men just so he could sleep with that guy's wife. And yet, he's called a man after God's heart. So he made this cry out, and God responds. And all the people. Zephaniah 3:17, he says, "Your God is present among you, a strong warrior there to save you, happy to have you back. He'll calm you with his love and delight you with his songs." I wished I could tell you today that the verb or the noun or the thing that would just give you the answer. That would just, so you know that when you walk out this door, the bull that's facing your life, you're going to conquer it. I can't promise that. I'd be foolish to even try. It's going to kick you off and it's going to trample you in the ground. But I think what makes the testimony of who we are as people who believe in Jesus Christ, is that we take a moment down there in the dirt and call out to our God. He's there for you. Believe me. He's there for you. And so as all the crowd watches and waits today, I just got a question for you. Are you ready? Worship team's going to come up and they're going to play us a few songs. And I'm going to ask the prayer team to come up today again. And if you guys, and I know we've prayed a little bit today already, but I hope that at some point this has stirred something in you. Stirred enough to say, you know what, I have this bull, I have this issue in my life. Maybe it's something simple, maybe it's so complex and so massive that you don't think it'll ever be ridden. Well, you've got a group of people here that want to help you ride right. You know, the hardest part of a rider is they ride one-handed and they put their hand in the air. And I think that's what struck me. I think that was the first image. It was almost, they're on this tremendous thing